Hello, everybody. Although I'll be posting this on a different day, I'm wearing the exact same clothes because I had an entire hour today of time that I didn't have classes. Right now, I'm going to do, as promised, the topic on vegetarians. It doesn't say a whole lot in the protocol about being a vegetarian, um, and I've never been a vegetarian. My daughter, for a year, was a vegan. Her second year that she was in college, she went to college in California. We're from Ohio. Dairy cows, beef, corn. Um, so we're a meat and potato kind of family, and that's how she was raised. But God bless her. We even supported her when she came home. We had a vegan Thanksgiving that year. Um, well, I had yeah, we had a vegan Thanksgiving. I went out with my other daughter to California for Thanksgiving, and we went to Catalina Island for a week, and we got the fixings and created them in our own hotel room. We had a vegan Thanksgiving. It was terrible for you. It was full of carbs. It was like stuffing and potatoes and corn and all this stuff, but no meat. But it was hard to get meat in there anyway. And on Catalina Island, it's not like a huge grocery store. They don't have a massive Ralph's is the grocery stores they have out in California. They just had a very small little grocery store there. So we did what we could and we made it vegan. And at Christmas time, we didn't like eat the whole time vegan by any means. Um, but I think she stayed vegetarian, and I think she did, for the most part, stay vegan as well. All right. I want to say she gave in by having eggs. I don't see the problem with having eggs because it doesn't kill an animal, and I thought that was a lot of the philosophy people had, unless it was like a dietary thing and their body didn't react well to it. But she very positively reacted to adding eggs and that protein back into her diet. So I think that's what she did. So she was a vegan who had eggs, I believe, starting halfway through the year. And I think we're the ones that caused that. I mean, I didn't mean to, but like she's around it. Anyway, I digress. So let's talk about vegetarians. If you're a vegetarian and you want to do HCG, I'm going to read to you exactly what Dr. Simeon says. Here's what he says. Strict vegetarians, such as Orthodox Hindus, present a special problem because milk and curds are the only animal protein they will eat. To supply them with sufficient protein of animal origin, they must drink 500 cc's of skim milk per day, though part of this ration can be taken as curds. As far as fruit, vegetables, and starch are concerned, their diet is the same as that of non vegetarians. They cannot be allowed their usual intake of vegetable proteins from leguminous plants such as beans or from wheat or nuts, nor can they have their customary rice. In spite of these severe restrictions, their average loss is about half that of non vegetarians, presumably owing to the sugar content of the milk. Okay, let me add something to this. So they're having more milk, which has more sugar in it, because as we know, we're only allowed to have, what is it, a teaspoon every 2 days, I believe. I don't know. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't need milk. So I never remember that exact stat. But there's not a lot of milk that you're allowed to have on this diet, and you're really not supposed to have any. But he recognizes some people just need it in their coffee. Um, um, but we just talked the other day, earlier today, as I recorded the video, about the fact that if you stray even slightly from this diet, that it is going to affect your weight loss. That you might think, oh, I'm going to take away some more of this protein, but I'm going to eat more of this instead because it's lower calories. Um, that messes everything up. So the concept of drinking more milk messes things up. It's substituting something you're not supposed to have. So that just goes to say, and it reinforces his notion of what he stated earlier, in that if you don't follow this to the letter of the law, you're not going to lose as much as you would otherwise. Thus, people lose half as much when they are vegetarians on this diet. I will say that I understand and agree with them that ever since the very first time I did HCG, I haven't done it to the letter of the law and been completely strict on it. I have cheated with some of my proteins and had some higher fat proteins on it. I have probably eaten more vegetables than I needed to on it. So I've not stuck to the original protocol, and when I am on it and doing it in my way, which is close to the original protocol but not exactly, I lose about a half a pound a day. And they say most people lose closer to a pound a day on the diet. I find that hard to believe, um, but I know that is closer to the numbers that I had the first time. I would say I lost closer to 3/4 of a pound to a pound a day for a long time when I did it the very first time. That's also 5 years younger than I am now. Life is it's easier to lose weight when you're younger. It just is. Everyone under 50, I envy you. Becomes more difficult the older you get. All right, so that's what we have on vegetarians for today. No other information to supplement with that, but if you're a vegetarian, basically you eat legumes galore and a plethora of vegetables, and you don't limit yourself, nor should you. But if you're on the HCG diet, you need to, if you're taking the HCG hormone as part of this. So there you go. There's all your information for today. I hope it's helpful for you and you vegetarians. If you are a vegetarian on this diet out there and you've been successful, let me know down below, because I just find it really interesting I, that this would be the diet. I would think that if you're a vegetarian and you want a diet, that you would just try to figure out a way to just do reduce carbs, because most of the vegetarians I know are very healthy people and are very fit and are in shape and are not overweight, and they also tend to exercise a lot in that too. But I do have a couple vegetarian friends who are obese and not very physically active and do not appear to be a pillar of health by any stretch of the imagination. And they eat a lot of bread and desserts and just like bad food. I mean, yeah, it's not killing an animal, but you're killing yourself. uh, so, I would say if you are a vegetarian who needs to lose the weight, that may be where you need to look. Because the 3 vegetarians I know who are all overweight are also very poor eaters and very high carb content eaters. But I don't think that's the norm. I think most of your vegetarians are very healthy people. Kudos to you. I'm impressed, because that is a lifestyle change, not just a diet that you're on. And I recognize, appreciate, and applaud all of you who can really just change your whole life. That's the goal on the HCG diet, as is every diet, really, let's face it, is to make it become a lifestyle change. But it just hasn't happened to me in my life at this point. Yeah. Part of that is your environment. My environment hasn't changed, and therefore I don't see how I'm going to be that successful in terms of a lifestyle change, with all the environmental factors coming at me. If I were to be able to change the environment around me, and not that I necessarily want to change it, but like if I did change it, I think I'd be more successful on this. But life is the way it is, right? This is the hand you're dealt. All right, that's all for vegetarians today. I will talk to you again soon, I hope. That's my plan. Take care. Bye.